guys, so today I want to talk about why I read YA. I got a comment a couple of weeks ago on a video, and it was kind of a little bit unsavory towards my choices about my books. And I kind of wanted to talk about that because I think it's something worth discussing. So first off, I do want to get one thing out of the way. The commenter kind of talks about how I should be reading more classics and how I should be immersing myself in more cultured literature. And I do want to say, first off, that I am not an uncultured reader. I have tested out every single genre that there is out there. I mean, I've read mystery, fantasy, I've dabbled in romance. To be fair, I was like 12 years old and I definitely shouldn't have been reading it then, but hey, what can you do? I have read philosophy, I've read history. I'm a history major, so I've read Beowulf like 17 times. If that's not cultured, I don't know what is. Jane Eyre is my favorite book. I mean, you can't get much more cultured, and I think it's really important to get that out of the way, so that's not our discussion. What I want to talk about is why I read YA, and then why that choice is okay for me to make. First of all, I read YA because when I was a kid, I didn't really get a chance to. Growing up, I read middle grade, and then I switched straight into adult and fantasy, and I never got that in-between period where I read YA. So here I am at 21 years old, and I want to read as much YA as I can because it's fun. I'm having fun reading again, and I really enjoy that. I've been reading a lot of really dense literature for my courses and for school because I am working on my senior thesis and it's getting crazy, but when I have downtime, I want to read YA because that's what's fun for me. I get to go on an adventure when I read YA. I get to go on exciting adventures with Bilbo Baggins to the Misty Mountains. I get to fight off Voldemort with Harry Potter. I get to do all kinds of crazy things through reading, and that to me is the best thing. The thing about YA is that it's whimsical, and I enjoy that. And I love that just heartwarming excitement of friendship and fun that I get with YA that I don't get with adult novels. That's not to say that adult novels don't have their place, but they're not my particular favorite. And the other thing about YA that I love is that there is a deeper meaning. I think a lot of the time people say, oh, YA is just fluff. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes there are some fluffy novels, but I think it's important to look past that and see that yes, there are some fluffy novels, but there are also some really good, substantial novels. And the same thing is true for any genre. In adult, there are definitely fluffy novels, but there are also novels with substance. So in YA, we have some really heavy topics. I mean, we have people dying of cancer in The Fault in Our Stars, and that is wholly depressing, but it's also really meaningful, and I think it's important to find meaning in the books that you read, whether it's just the meaning is, hey, go have some fun today, or if it's something deeper, like, you know, don't blow up the world or something. But we're also dealing with topics like futuristic governments. There are zombie novels out there. We're looking at dystopians, which is huge because that's something that we're dealing with today. I mean, dystopians often take what the real world is and where it could go, and that's something I think that we should all be thinking about. Where is our world going? How do we want it to end up? Do we want to end up in a dystopian society? I don't know about you, but that would kind of suck. So these topics are all definitely heavy, and I think for them to be in young adult literature is a really good thing, and I think it means that maybe there's going to be more substance in young adult, and it's something that we should be paying attention to. But also, I think it's important to note that YA goes deeper, and it has subtext, and it has symbolism, but it does it without rambling on and on and on for 18 pages describing the furniture. It does it without you having to dig deep into the story to find these things. It gives them to you and lets you think about them. When I finish a YA book, oftentimes I will sit down and just think about it, what it means, what the next book will have in it, what the different interactions between the characters mean for the story, and what they mean for me personally. Like, how can I take this story and learn something from it? And that is really cool because it's what I want to do. When I was in high school and I had to analyze a book, I didn't want to be thinking about them. But with YA, I do, and I think that's important. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was why it's okay for me to choose YA. And I think it's a really significant concept for us all to be thinking about it. all of us readers and booktubers and reviewers and just general book lovers. And that's that reading is good. Someone who reads, that's a good thing. It's never a bad thing for someone to be reading. And we should be encouraging that in everyone. And so, even if you don't like a book, you should still encourage people to read if that's the book that they've chosen. So for me, I don't like Twilight. And I have spent many, many years hating on it and trying to convince people not to read it. And what was I doing? Why was I trying to do that? I shouldn't be trying to do that. If people want to read Twilight, they should be allowed to read Twilight. And it's the same for me. If I want to read YA, I should be allowed to read YA. And we shouldn't be dissing on each other because of what we read. We should be encouraging each other to read more and recommending things based on each other's likes and dislikes. We should be accepting each other, because just because we have different taste doesn't mean one group of us is worse than the other. It just makes us different, and different is good. And I think that's the thing that we all need to think about and we all need to embrace. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye!